Hey there, BookTube. Noah. Everyone who reads it must converse is the channel. Thanks for coming by. Happy Friday. All of that kind of stuff. We're in it. We are in it. I am so hyped for tonight. Let me tell you. Hey, Mark. Richardson Reads is in the house. Mark and hey, Deb. Thanks for y'all coming by. Yes, Tom will be here tonight. Oh, what a star-studded kind of show. I feel like with Tom on. Not just smart, but a handsome gentleman as well. That's right. Hey, Nick, happy Friday. Yes, Nick Voro in the house. Two booktube legends. Well, hey, I really appreciate you saying so. Tom is definitely legendary for the Dante content that he's put out, right? Hey, yeah, John. Hey, y'all, listen up. Howdy, howdy. Nice to see you, brother. Thanks for coming by. Yep, teeny tiny. There's my member. A member of the channel. We're accepting memberships over here at Everyone Who Reads It Must Converse. You don't get anything extra. I mean, why would I create content and not give it out to everyone, right? Hey, mom. Tyler, happy Friday, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Killer. So, that was maybe you heard it. I don't know. Quentin in the house. It reads and rambles. Happy Friday for sure. Heck yeah. So some amazing reading. What a week. It's just been fall it's been fall break for the kids. And so what a busy week. Gonna be busy weekends. It's just what it's gonna be, right? Yeah. Thalo, I ain't finna read that. That's what I'm talking about. Last 15-minute break. Well, thank you for jumping in, brother. All good. And glad you are doing your thing. There's Tom. Happy Friday, Tom. LA Books in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Alan. Happy Friday. Heck yeah. Thanks for coming by, everyone. All right. We're set to go. So I've been reading Possession, getting through Possession by A.S. Byatt at chapter 13. This is about halfway. It's becoming increasingly easier to forget where you are and get lost in this Victorian poetry, this symbolism, and forget who you're following. Are you following the poets, the objects of scholarship for our two main characters, or are you following our main characters themselves? They are going on a trek. They're following the poet's footsteps and on the trail of what may or may not be their romance. Um, Obviously, there are feelings, and um there is all there is everything. It's in the world of poetry, in the world of imagery. It's just very well done, and it's kind of like a flex using this kind of storytelling mode, talking about Victorian poets like that as an excuse, to flex writing Victorian poetry on the highest level possible. And A.S. Byatt does that. One of the finest writers that I've read in recent memory, just perfection in the way that the prose is put together, words, dialogue it screams to be read out loud. Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yes. Oh no, 34 degrees in the morning. Well, you know, you guys up there are way more used to chilling temperatures than I am down here. That's for sure. Yeah, of course. Of course. So I'm digging Possession, not looking to get too much into it this week. To tell you the truth, I'll do some Possession uh digging in when I get the whole story. It definitely has this mysterious aspect. Still not very clear what the gravity of the two poets' relationship is. How did it go unknown for this long? All that. Hey, Jesse reads and meditates. Happy Friday. Nice to see you. Heck yeah. A great book. I saw that you had picked up the a replacement copy, a hardcover of Possession, just on that last book haul this last weekend, Mark. And just I was like, yes, I'm loving it. I'm loving it, man. Good stuff. Hey, Lee. Lee Kempter in the house. Happy Friday. For sure. Yeah. Got some heavy hitters coming on today. Yeah. Overrated. Right when I read it, I was like, who said that? It's Jack. Happy Friday, Jack. He is bad. He likes to stir it up. Yeah, let's fight about it. Go. You guys are too funny, I swear. Yeah. Record saying he regards Possession as a brilliant work. I'm enjoying it. I really am. It's something that I want to even I just sit in it. We'll just think about well what's going on or what happened in this scene and just think about it about even the language and the poetry and the stories that are inserted throughout are just mm, they are exactly where you want to be. Yeah, I picked up that one on Jack's recommendation too. It will be coming. It will be coming. All right. So there is a wonderful uh, sci-fi graphic novel called GENU that was just released here. You'll see our boy Todeska. That's Tom LA Books here. Just got this one hot off the presses, right? So in anticipation of it, I started reading GENU. Tom had shared this with me back when we did our Science and Faith series, where we were um, exploring that adaptation that he did. Very, very cool, very fun read, and a wonderful starting off point for discussion. So I'll link those in the description box because I really enjoy the discussion and whether or not other people want to, click on it or don't, right? But I really uh, was excited about this and in anticipation went ahead and read the first 3 volumes. This is about 6 comics, I believe. These bind ups here, and it looks to be the whole GENU is 10 comics long, but I'm not sure about that. Let's get the man himself. Hey, Tom. Do we got you? I
Hello,
can't hear you.
everyone. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Hello, hello. Happy Friday. Happy Friday,
Happy
everybody.
Friday, Tom. Nice to see you for sure.
Thanks for
So,
inviting me, Noah.
my pleasure, man. I have been so, um, you know, just captured and then off to the races with GENU. All right. So the total um length of this thing is about 10 comics. Is that about right?
That's correct. It's the total of 10 issues. Each issue is about maybe 30, 35 pages. Some of them are 40. So the total number of pages is in fact 300, a little more than 300.
Nice.
And it's the work of it's basically the final result of 4 years of work, which is crazy. Which is crazy because like
It
everything we
shows. It shows.
it's
It's
great.
well done. It's so well done. We'll get into it. Go ahead.
No, thank you. It's part of the. I love the medium. I really, really love the medium of comic because it's so free. It gives you um, so much. Even to you, the reader, it gives you a lot of space to imagine what is happening between one panel and the other. You feel it. You feel it in visually with your own imagination.
Right.
And especially with the graphic style of Alexandra Fastovet. She is a Ukrainian artist,
Nice.
and she is fantastic, as you can see from those pages.
Right.
But being from that's the first chapter. Every chapter begins with an artwork that kind of summarizes the concept of that one chapter, and so we have 10 artworks, each one of them inspired by surrealism and by surrealist works. um, I just really want to highlight the skills of the artist, Alexandra Fastovets. She is from Kiev, and as you guys can imagine, she's had a very rough time recently in the last months because her mother still is in Kiev. She was able to flee Ukraine, and she now lives in Paris. She works in Paris, but her mother is still there, so she's obviously worried, and it's a tough situation. But uh,
Wow.
I really want to make sure that people know how great she is because her skills are incredible.
The skills are incredible. To be able to create this, not just shadow, but also light from the black and white panels was really striking. And sometimes I'm going to come across some where this, you get a sense of just light coming from the panel, from the page. It's it's so well done. And even the glare, the kind of light off of um the glasses, Axel's glasses here, right?
Yes, yes, and of course
So cool.
it took a long while because the creators, let's say, it's a team. I am one of three co-authors, which may sound a little strange because how can you write something as a group of three people? But it's just worked. It worked very well for us. We are three Italian friends. We've known each other for many many years. In fact, with one of them, I've known him for basically 40 years, which is crazy.
Nice.
A very old time friend, and we are yeah, we are really happy to have come here after to this point after 4 years.
Heck
I'm
yeah,
happy
it's
to.
great. Okay, look, so let's just get to it now. Like, what is GENU then? It's really hard sci-fi, like really hard sci-fi, and
Yes,
hard as in, you know, set in the real world. There's a flex to um, try to be as realistic as possible with the science fiction. Is that right?
100%. Yeah. So for anyone who is not too familiar with the term hard science fiction, we really wanted to write an original hard science fiction novel. And by hard science fiction, simply, generally it's meant some science fiction that is not only about the future of our society, the future of our ideas, but it's actually the future of our technology and science that is written in a very plausible way. And so the fact that one of the three of us is in fact a scientist, he's a neurobiologist, he works in Boston,
Nice.
uh, you know, it was very useful to get the novel going in the right direction because we had ideas. Since the story is based in 2125, this is the year, so 100 years in the future. It was great to have this scientist in our team because we would come up with crazy ideas and he would just strike us down like, guys, no, this one, no,
Nice.
it's not possible. um, so everything that is represented in GENU is in fact a realistic development of our technology and our science.
And you have some of these parts in the individual bindings here. You have them at the end of each of the volumes here, but at the end of the bind up, and I'm assuming that it's the same with the paperback, that the technology of GENU, this little section here, is all at the end. And you've actually worked out some of the science for uh some of the settings.
Exactly.
No spoiler. There's a planet power plant on Mercury that's beaming energy back to the Earth, right? Getting energy from the sun from a uh, a closer place, and then beaming that energy back to the Earth to fulfill our energy needs, right? And
Yeah.
so you've worked out some of that.
Yeah, the crazy concept about Mercury is that since Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun, in 100 years from now, we'll be able to have colonized the planet. But because of the jump in temperature between the side of Mercury which is against the Sun and the side of Mercury which is cold, um, any base that is based on Mercury would need to keep moving, constantly moving, in order to stay within the shadow part of Mercury. And that's what we came up with. The base is able to collect a lot of solar energy in much more with much more intensity than from Earth,
Right.
and then beam it through laser technology to Earth. And this is actually a realistic concept that is already being explored in some way. In this hypothetical world, the Earth has decided to eliminate any source of energy that is not solar. So the entire planet Earth is powered by solar energy.
There was actually a like a a worldwide democratic decision to do so. It's awesome how you've played how in this and it shows the collaborative effort. This thing is really well fleshed out, and you can tell there was a lot of checks and balances to get as far as it's gotten, because there's an aspect of it that is um maybe technology run amok, but also future technology that has been developed, and then uh all different things, but they're well worked out within themselves, but we just get one side of it. We get the piece of it that is necessary for our story. And this is the hard sci-fi is part of the setting and kind of takes a back seat to the characters in this, I think, because there's a caregiver and there's a child and then there's a worker on Mercury, and they're very dehumanized, right? They don't have the female has a name that you would recognize, Julia, right? Axel is more of a label than a name, maybe. But the boy is M07, and this he is a boy that was born on Mercury. So we have a whole different type of a culture than what we're in, and we see quickly that humanity is very different than what we have right now. But there's maybe inklings of it.
That's right. I love
Eh,
how you
you know
no, I love this way to summarize it because these three are really the main three characters, and maybe it's not a coincidence that three co-authors wrote three main protagonists because like we were saying, it's always a representation, a mirroring of whoever is the creator. Yeah, there you see the workers on Mercury, and you're right from a cultural point of view. We wanted to represent something that is detached from the evolution of society on Earth, because it's a little bit maybe pessimistic, because the internet has evolved into this global massive thing that's called data Earth,
right.
or DE, data Earth, which is a place where you can do virtual reality things, and they look exactly like normal reality. So people live their days constantly consumed into this life of data Earth.
Right.
And it's a caricature of our present day.
Right, and I got this. There's another graphic novel that it kind of reminded me of, and I never read the graphic novels fully, but it's because I saw the movie first, and it kind of turns me off when I do that. But the movie was really great too. It's called Surrogates. Have you seen that? It's a
I,
sci-fi
I think I know what
where
what
the
you're
whole
referring to.
society is actually living through kind of like robots, right? And they
Yes,
stay in their house and they're living vicariously through these robots.
yes.
And so it's this kind of feeling of a lost humanity where people are, you know, uh, kidding themselves. They're living a lie, thinking that they are living a fulfilling life and doing more than any human has ever done, when they're actually doing less than any human has ever done. They're actually less functional than
Yeah,
than other human beings, right?
which brings us to the main, let's say, underlying concept, which is technology is nothing.
That's right.
And this is kind of the background, maybe deeper current that goes underneath the entire story. That is, oh, we have Julio as
We
well. That's
do we have Julio? We
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
Julio in the thank you. Julio Tomase.
Yes,
Is
Julio
that right?
Tomasi from Boston.
Tomase.
Yes.
Let me say thank you for this, and thank you for coming by. Um, what an awesome read. I haven't finished it yet to tell everybody the truth, but I've gotten far enough. Let me tell you, it's a very enjoyable read. I can't wait to see how it closes it out.
Yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, there is a constant reflection in the book about, like you said, the effect of technology on our life, on our society, and
Right.
how 200 years ago, 300 years ago, we were all hoping for technology to help us, to make us work less, to make us more relaxed,
Bring a utopia.
to
This
bring a
utopian
utopia.
ideas, right?
But but obviously the reality is very different. And in the future, in this future where everybody is working, living in that data earth, there is a rebel group, a rebellion group, who is obviously trying to contrast and go against this type of societal trend. And the logo of the group is this one: technology is nothing.
Nice.
The leader of the group is another very important character of the story.
Right.
So there is a lot there. There is a lot to unpack. There are some interesting Easter eggs that we also included. That I'm happy to share at any time, but it's best if people first read the story
For
and then
sure.
see if they can find them.
For sure. We can kind of we can just kind of move around it because there's so much to talk about this for real. You have a real big, you touched on it with the covers, and they really are striking. The covers of each chapter are some of my favorite panels, some of my favorite artwork in it, because they really do a great job encapsulating the chapter, but also the feel. And this is very artfully minded. Okay, you're a real artfully minded individual, and
Very visual, very
you,
visual.
I'm
Yes.
sure your friends are as well. Especially the artists, but also the other writers, just to embark on this with you. So you have a sense of this where art runs thematically through this as something. It's still revered, it's used, but its utility, and it's also lost on greater humanity, maybe that kind of imagination, uh faculties of the human mind that are creative are
Mhm.
completely lost because everything's given, everything's in data earth, just on a platter for everybody, right?
Exact, absolutely correct. Yeah, I think the art in the book is more for the reader. The art in the book is more for the reader to appreciate and also to give.
Jack, good night.
Thanks, Jack. For the reader to get an additional layer of appreciation and understanding of the story. And each one, like you say, each one of these artworks in the beginning of the 10 chapters is actually inspired by a real surrealist painting, maybe by Salvador Dali or De Chirico or Klimt. And
Yeah.
we modified the painting, of course, with different elements, different that have to do with the story.
Yeah, these throwbacks are wonderful in how they fit in. And just to cut to it, like when it comes down to it, this story brings you along on the power of, mostly, at the start it's kind of a mystery. It strikes me like the story of, like, Ghost in the Shell, right? And 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 it's because there's the reveal, like, no spoilers at all, that uh there's kind of a first contact going on,
Yes,
and
yes.
nobody knows what, and this being shows up and then is just there, and she's part of the scenes, and we get information, but she doesn't speak, and stays there the whole time, and the story starts off with a horrific conflict, so you're just kind of wondering what's going on, and you have to, and you're just thrust into it, and very interesting. So maybe speak into that.
Yeah, it's the story does start in the first chapter, in the first couple of chapters, with an encounter with what seems to be an alien. However, Olaf Stapleton influence, of course, 100%. The What's interesting is that I think it's a very different story. It's a very original story that starts in a way that is very conventional. In other words, the story starts with an alien, what seems to be an alien encounter, but during the development of the plot, you realize that it's much, much more complex than that.
Right.
And we, when we came up with the central concept of the mystery that is going to be revealed, yeah, this is actually a modification of a René Magritte surrealist painting, as you can see.
Yeah.
And so we came up with a concept that is going to be revealed around chapter 8 or 9. We also searched the internet and did our background check to see that this concept has not appeared in previous. Oh yes, the concept has to do with anthropology. The main concept or the mystery has to do with Homo erectus and the relationship between Homo erectus and Homo sapiens. Um, I
And
really don't want.
you're really off to the races with this mystery. I mean, and the tension on top of the mystery comes in the form of these characters. The boy can't survive unless he's on Mercury, and there's something with that. The
Because of the gravity,
the
because
back
he's
the background of Julia and Axel as well. His story is so good, man. That I'm just like, when it comes down to it, the characters really, really shine, but this mystery is what drives behind. And I was thinking, and the feel of this thing as well, for anybody out there that saw old Eon Flux on MTV, because it's this technocracy that has kind of complete power over everything, but it's really surreal, and you're in this world where non-living and living organisms kind of blend. It's so weird, and so and beautiful. There's beautiful
yeah,
aspects to this kind of thing, and there's beautiful aspects to GENU. But I would like to stress, just so people know what they're getting into, that this is kind of a horror. Okay,
yeah.
there's
It's for adults. It's for
it's
adults.
for adults. This is not a, happy, kind of story like that. There's scenes, very there's a lot of loss, there's like trauma that happens to the characters, and then they have like the images of that. It's There's so much to work
Yeah,
in.
you're right. One of the probably most moving plot lines is the one, like you say, that relates to the boy. His name is Mo7, and I'm happy to share this with whoever is listening. Mo7 because he is the seventh human being who's born on Mercury, so Mo7. But if you read it backward, that becomes Tom, and therefore Tom. So there is a little bit of a reflection there.
Very
Um,
cool.
and because he's born on a very small planet, his bones have not developed in the way that they would develop if he was born on Earth. Therefore, in the moment when he's all of a sudden transported to the Earth, his health, his life is in danger, and that creates a little bit of a moving narrative, a moving plot.
Yeah. um his friend, his good friend and buddy, M10, right? M10.
Yeah, yeah,
It's great. vibes from all this good sci-fi. It's right in the pocket. It's right where you want to be. And also, it has something extra. It has something special to it. And we have not said, too much about it at all, because there's a lot to this, um that we're just not going to bring out on the table.
Yeah,
What a well done book.
I would
So
say when you show the cover seems to be a mess of animals, and what it would like to signify is the human being part of the animal world, and trying to, in this struggle, to trying to elevate
right,
himself away from the animal world, but not being able to do it. You know,
right, sure.
that's kind of a statue that represents that.
I like it. I really like it. When it comes down to it, that kind of tension is explored well. Okay, like there's this where we want to look at ourselves as alien, as not part of nature, because we feel like we can do something different. What? Self-reflect, be self-conscious, that then we're apart, and then what we do, since we're making a conscious decision, rational decision about it, rather than instinct driving it, then we think it's wrong or not part of the nature, the construct. But that's totally misguided, I think. And I think you're of the same mind there too, because it's this kind of thing of we 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 whatever we can do is a part of what we are allowed to do by virtue of being who we are. And I know it seems like a slippery slope, but that's where, spirituality and imaginative inner life comes in to check us. When you see something, or, I don't think there's anybody watching here that would, kind of get riled up at when we say something like humanity. We feel like a piece of humanity has gotten lost over the last maybe 20 years of technology boom in our human culture on the earth. There is a feeling of this kind of thing where we've lost something, or we're in danger of losing something. um
The risk is there for sure. Yeah, and that's where, through art, it's beautiful to express this type of feelings, this type of dangers about what I love as. Oh, you're right, Mark.
that is see, and I have the Laocoon on my wall. I don't know if you guys remember when I used to film over on that wall. I have the Blake's Laocoon over there. I love it, but it's just that arm up, right? Because he's wrestling with the snake. He's got the arm up over him like that,
Yes,
and then
yes,
with the two cherub children on either side there. Very cool. Nice call,
yeah.
Mark.
It's. I mean, I really think this graphic novel is a visual feast. It's something that, even if somebody, for example, Rose from Scully Dundling around the books, she's had a chance already to read it, and even science fiction is not really her wheelhouse, let's say, but she really appreciated the visual, the art side of it.
Yeah.
And Infinite Jest warned us. That's right. Yes, we need to go back to Infinite Jest. That's for those type of dangers, for sure.
It always gets me when I think of Infinite Jest, and it was before all of this, screen phones, right? So he had the idea of the phone having a visual element, a video element, but then people would get so self-conscious that
Yeah,
they would wear a mask. And so they have a mask just
yeah,
for their video calls. And
yeah.
it's just this facial prosthetic. And ultimately people start going so insane with it that they discontinue the whole project. It just goes down.
Absolutely. Another perfect example of technology uses, kind of gone wrong. Okay, so we have Julio. He's saying the story is also about how we humans think we are the apex of evolution. Exactly. Julio, being a scientist and being a biologist, neurobiologist, he has very strong this concept of, and I think he sees it in his profession. A lot of people having the pride of, the human being being such an
Sure.
incredible
Right.
creature, but Julio's philosophy is in fact the opposite. He keeps telling me and us, what, the human brain is actually a little bit simpler. On one hand, it's complex, yes, but it's actually simpler than what some people make it out to be, as this incredibly magic thing. We are, at the end of the day, part of nature. We are part of this big world,
Right.
and you cannot try and deny that.
Yeah, I love it, and there's some of the Stapleton
Right,
parallel
right.
there as well because in Star Maker, you come face to face with the being that is the creator, and this universe is just one of a countless, and there's not much to recommend it over another one, except that maybe it got to the point where it could turn around and see the Star Maker, something like that. But I got from this kind of vantage. I love that kind of sci-fi vantage we can get to, right?
Yeah, yeah. And again, I don't want to spoil it, but I just hope it's going to be. Obviously, this is an independent work. It's being published by a British comic book publisher or editor, and called Marcosia. And we want to, we want people to have fun. We want people to kind of, reflect a little, yes, enjoy the art, yes, but also a lot of it is really having fun and enjoy the work for what it is.
Okay, so there's a huge aspect of this that is just fun. All right, the entertainment for this world, you can think of. I kind of thought of the movie Idiocracy. Have you seen that?
It reminds me of something. Yes,
It's really completely dumb. It's Mike Judge. He did. It's like kind of a future where everybody is total idiots, right?
it's a
So
satire, right? Yes.
it's a satire. Yes, it's well done. But you have this guy. This is the entertainment of the future, right? And you know what he's like to me? Max Headroom. You know who Max Headroom was?
No.
He's a virtual reality. He's like maybe the first virtual reality personality that was created back in the late 80s, something like this. He was a talk show host. They kind of played him like that, but he's really brash, really in your face, really loud, and not funny when he's trying to be funny. And but only the most boorish, brackish people would just be like, hawing at the TV for him and stuff. And you get that sense, that
Yeah,
that's that character, right?
yeah. This character is a fully computerized, let's say, journalist or reporter, and
Right.
he represents the media in the
Right.
story.
He's like the mouthpiece.
Yes, yes. So there is a lot of there is a lot of let's say, digging into the main characters that we hope that people will appreciate. That's exactly, that's him.
So I mean, there's a lot of fun to this. It's aware enough that you have fun while you're in it, but there's a lot of heavy, not just heavy with characters and what they're going through, but heavy ideas where you're just
Yep.
able to
And
go soaring.
yes, and I would say there is also a couple of Dante references that, or Easter eggs that have to be found out.
Very cool, very cool. So beautiful artwork. So I would, if you want to, just like say anything else
This one
about.
is from that one is from a De Chirico surrealist painting. De Chirico is one of my favorite ones. This He used to paint these Venetian squares that give you the creeps because they're so empty and always very geometrical, and the people seem to be almost artificial. There is a lot about surrealism that would be so fascinating to dive into, just as a philosophical movement as well. Even if the strange thing is that surrealism only lasted for maybe 30, 20 years, something like that, because it was a group of people in France, and then it evolved into something else.
Nice. The panels are done really great. I mean, the action panels are really kind of slicing, and you just keep moving through. I love how a lot of the different parts of this are structured. So, but I
Well,
really just can't say enough about uh the characters and how well fleshed out they are, and the ideas too. There's a lot packed in here. As we can touch on a lot, we could talk about a lot, but there's an aspect of this that's a slow burn, you
yeah,
know?
the plot itself takes some time to build, and only towards the end you really get. I hope you connect all the dots and you get, oh wow, actually there is a lot of thinking behind it, because we actually thought a lot, a lot about it. We argued about it. It was a very fun, creative process.
I bet it was, especially with so many creatives thrown in together. I can't imagine what some writing brainstorming sessions on this must have been like.
Yes, yes, yeah. There were literal fighting, which is great because you're among friends and you know that you can actually fight in good spirits.
Yeah, and how about when the artist started, visually depicting things that y'all were coming up with? I mean, it
Well,
has to be an amazing
for the
experience.
for the visual part, I have to say I kind of acted as the, how to say, the art director, maybe, because I was drawing some stick figures on with my
Oh my
pencil.
God, dude. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, that's a very wonderful one. That's a wonderful one, isn't it?
That's wonderful. That's
And you,
Dolly, right? That's Dolly's
yeah, and you can
the
look at the picture and think about the story and deconstruct what the picture is showing you, because it really has to do with the plot.
so
But
good. I haven't got there yet. I just was looking at the
I can
okay,
show you my. This is an example of my sketches of basically what I was providing
let
to.
me get it. Let me get it big. I'll make it
Oh, sure.
get a big one.
To the artist, I would be sketching something like this. Can you see it?
I can see it all right. Need maybe more light.
And this one maybe is a little bit clearer. So basically, very poor quality from an art point of view, but at least I was able
Right.
to give the artist a page structure and a good idea on what we would like to what we were envisioning.
Cool.
Yeah,
Something to go on, something to, just um uh, some kind of template or something. Good,
yeah,
good.
and she is just fantastic in the way she represented them. This one, oh, this is one of my favorites actually. I don't remember the original artist, the surreal artist, but
This is where I'm at. I've read to this one right here.
as you can see, this is actually, we changed it, we modified it in order to show the four main characters of our story. While if you check the original painting, it's different people, different characters. Um,
It's freaking awesome, Tom. I tell you, I started this and I've just been more and more blown away as I move through the chapters. It's so cool. So well done.
well, it's been keeping us alive during COVID, which is fantastic. It's kept our vitality alive and creativity. So I'm very grateful to the entire team. I also want to mention, so we have the artist who is Alexandra Fastovets, and also a lecturer. Her name is Francesca Colasanti. She is another Italian friend, and she was responsible. This is the Klimt. Yeah, this is the Klimt. We are using the alien, and we have modified the original Klimt in this way.
It's
Uh,
beautiful. And see there, that's exactly what I'm talking about. See what she's holding in her hand? You see how it seems like there's light in that paper? That's That's special. That's
Yeah,
really knowing your craft. That's artistry
yeah,
for sure.
exactly. It's part of, it's an element of the story as well, the type of sphere. So yeah, Francesca was really good at. She was responsible for all the speech bubbles, the text, the narrative. You know how the
Yeah,
text
doing the
is.
lettering, right? I mean, that's very well done too. You can't speak to it enough how crucial it is because you got to be able
Absolutely.
to read it. You got to be able to read it.
Yeah, yeah. And so,
So
you know,
that's Francisca Colasanti,
yes, that's her name, Francesca.
Francesca Colasanti, and Alexandria Fastove.
Yeah, Fastovets, she is the
Fastovets.
Ukrainian
That's the
artist. Yeah.
artist. Amazing
So,
talent. And then Tommaso Todesca.
yeah, yeah, that's a good pronunciation,
This
actually.
guy, he wrote this.
Yeah, together.
Alex Franquelli.
Yeah, correct.
An awesome guy. Awesome guy. And then Giulio
Tom-
Tomase.
Tomassi.
Tomase.
Yeah.
There we go. And we have Giulio in the chat. So thank you so much for
Thank
man.
you. Thank you. And a little announcement. Giulio, Alex, and I are going to do a brief video presenting the book in about maybe 1 week from now or 10 days from now. But I'm so grateful that you already received it, already read it, and you were open to talk about it in your life, which is fantastic.
I had to jump on it, Tom. I had to. I had too much fun with that science and faith adaptation. You know how I am. I read graphic novels, but I don't go for comics or graphic novels with the frequency maybe like Mark Richardson does, things like this. I want to go for a specific storylines that are completed that I can get the whole thing that I can enjoy. And so this was right up my alley and science and faith was so interesting to me and I really enjoyed what you did, your passion for that project. Another graphic novel, Tom. I'm on board for any graphic novel you do, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is very different. This is more fun. This is also an original story, of course, and uh, and hopefully
And
it's
I
enjoyable.
think it's better if I
I mean,
say so. Of course. I mean, you did something, you had something you wanted to do with science and faith, and you did that. And I think you did it well. I think you were successful at what you were trying to do. It's a conversation starter of
yeah,
par excellence. But
yeah.
this is actually an original work that does something special.
Well, thank you. I saw that Mark was asking for the link to purchase. The book is already available on any kind of online bookstore. You think about Barnes and Noble. If you go on Barnes and Noble online, you just look for GENU Omnibus. But I'm going to send you the link and maybe you can put it under the video or something like that.
I'll do it. If you send me the link, I'll put it in the description box.
Yeah.
And um also, I'll link when you do your video with the authors. Go
Perfect.
ahead and send me a link to that, and I'll put that in the description box to this as well,
Oh,
so that I'm
wonderful. Yeah.
constantly pushing people to where they can get it.
Very much appreciate. I've noticed how you in particular, out of booktubers, have a passion for kind of promoting the work that we are doing as creators, as writers, and so really appreciate this. Thanks so much for what you've been doing.
My pleasure, brother. Really. GENU is something that when I was approached with it before, it wasn't the whole story, and I just didn't have any. I wasn't gonna. I'm not gonna torture myself like that, Tom. So I put it to the side. But once this thing was available, when I saw that it was like, well, it's available within the week. So I started reading, and I'm very happy I did to be able to jump into this early. You're right. I'm super passionate about supporting community because I really think that, and this is testament to it, that there's talent in the community that can rival anything that's put together big budget and shoved down people's throats. So buy local. Let's go for our buddies, and support these kind of things, and get what we love anyways, get a new book, and um, you know, something a lot to think about here.
Yeah. Well,
Killer.
thanks so much again, my friend, and thank you for listening, everybody who's been on the line. Um, I can go back behind the scenes before you finish your.
Very cool. Very cool, Tom. Thank you for coming by. And it's just, what a great community we have, right?
100%.
Thanks for
100%.
jumping on and talking about it and all that. I couldn't wait for tonight. I think it was really cool.
Thanks so much, guys. Really
Bye, bro.
excited. Thanks so much. Bye.
Heck yeah. So, I mean, really, one of the funnest reads of of this year so far, just on the strength of the plot, the characters, and also that it's my boy. What a project. So, I hope I've, inspired interest, because that's what this was really for. I'm blown away at how interesting it is, how much fun it is. It's obvious so much work has gone into it. It's just killer. So, check it out. GENU. Mm, like I haven't shown it enough, right? But, you know, you can't go wrong. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming by and killing an hour with me. Happy Friday, all that. And hey, Fit to be Read, Michael has dropped an awesome 210 sci-fi favorite sci-fi. It's over 3 hours long. Oh, it's the big one, baby. Oh yeah. See? Fit to be read. I whisper sci-fi and he comes a running. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. Thank you, Nick. We had some fun. It's a great read. I'm gonna finish it up. Yes. With a really special guest. I tell you what, you got so many guests. For sure. I can't wait to see it. Thank you very much. Everybody. Catch you on the next one, BookTube. Bye bye.